Hello and welcome back. Finally, we are here for the last qualifying match to find out who's going to go to Dreamhack Stockholm in order to try and qualify for Dreamhack Cluj. So it's going to be Liquid versus Complexity. Liquid beating Hooligans. I was going to say Hoodlums. Beating Hooligans 2-0 earlier on when it came down to Negevs and Auto Snipers on train. But I think they're going to have a bit of a stiffer challenge here versus Complexity. Obviously, a team with some hoodlums, you might say, who, joining forces from various teams and now find themselves back under the Complexity banner. I say back as in Complexity are back into Counter-Strike. Obviously, one of the more storied teams in North America, Complexity. Nice to see them back in action once again.
Yeah, it's kind of funny as well because obviously, people will recognize a lot of these players from the Neolim lineup, which featured Hiko most recently, and then of course, for a multitude of reasons, Neolim ceased to exist, and but Stemphis is there, Automatic, who kind of got replaced.
Automatic had a little moment where he was like, "I want to be addressed as Han," but now he's back to Automatic. Which is good.
And we've got Sanks, Valenza, and Rocker as well. So there's a bunch of good players there.
Some X-Elevate players there as well.
Yeah, it's a nice lineup, I got to say. But the fact that they're so new is going to be likely to cause issues. Because if you look at Hiko's situation, obviously he used to play with them. I don't think that's going to give him any advantage at all. But there is the advantage that, well, Liquid, they're pretty core. They've had a core 4 players for quite some time now. So
yeah. We haven't... the team we saw before, the Nylon team, wasn't the most strategic team that we saw of the North American teams, so I hope we see more from this team than we saw from the previous lineup.
It did surprise me as well because they had some coaching as well. They had I think Legia was dedicating a lot of time to coaching them, but they were very focused on that individual skill. But then again, maybe they got carried away because there's this issue. If your skill there's a huge disparity in your skill between you and your opponents. You can kind of do anything you want. You can play as incorrect strategical Counter-Strike as you like, and you can still just win. So
that's basically what they were doing.
Exactly.
But then when they go up against stronger teams, because they don't have that practice, which I don't know, you always want to say you don't know where the blame lies in that sense. But I mean, you see Liquid exactly. You see Liquid focusing on strategies and so on for better or worse, and every team is capable of it. We saw that on train with the double nade timing and everything. So
they were always the most respectable team for I would say. In North America, obviously with Cloud9, but them in particular actually, because you could see that they never really tried to they never tried to take anything for granted, which I thought was quite cool. Always trying to become the solid team, the solid Counter-Strike team, which is really nice and encouraging. But talking about maps, we do have Cobble, which is going to be our first, I believe, announced pick by Complexity, and then we're going to Overpass, and then Train. So it does seem like a good map pool for Liquid, but what map pool wouldn't seem good for them?
Yeah, I would say so, because Overpass obviously is one of the more difficult maps to play, generally speaking. You need to really do your homework there. And Train, Liquid will come in warm on that one, but again, I would say they're all maps that favour solid strategy. Cobble as well. It's very hard to defend as counter-terrorist on that map. So if you don't have all your eggs. What is it you have all in a line? It's not because eggs are in a basket, right? Ducks in a row. If you don't have all your, we need to look at where that comes from, because what the hell does ducks in a row mean? Why do my ducks need to be in a row, Dan? Why can't it just be in a general array within a pool or other wet area?
Because if they're all in a row, then you can kind of you can shoot them, just boom, 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 just one after another.
That is horrible.
I think that's where it comes from, but I don't know.
People go duck hunting in America, right?
I don't know.
I think I have a friend who goes duck hunting. He, I think he goes to Dakota or North Dakota. I think he shoots in North Dakota. I only shoot clay discs, also known as clay pigeon. I couldn't shoot a duck. In my old office, I used to. We had a window onto the River Thames, and in the warmer months, you'd have these ducks and geese, Canada geese, grey-lag geese, would come with their little babies. And I'd feed them bread, which I don't know if that's the healthiest thing for them, Dan. But I was doing what I could, damn it, with my ignorant efforts. So I don't think I could now shoot a duck.
We have a very conservationalist kind of...
What is it, goose, that they hunt in North Dakota? You can send me a tweet if you're from North America. I assume someone is.
I mean, for us, the hunting thing, it was only really the fox hunting, which was really a huge thing in the last.
In the press, you mean?
Well, yeah, generally speaking, like English people, I don't think have necessarily been brought up with a culture of hunting. Generally speaking,
Depends on how rich you are.
well, that's what I'm saying. Like, but the fox thing is that's now illegal, right? So
I think it's illegal to do it with dogs. I think it was. I think
The
it was
unfair
because it was like
advantage.
you had the dudes and the horses, right? The dudes
Yeah.
and the chicks, and they would have like 30 dogs running around or something. So I think it was. I think it was using the dogs that was
Just does all the work
the
for
issue.
you.
It's
Really,
like driving them, or I don't know what's going on.
Yeah, I'm not sure actually. I gotta say.
Well, it's time to clean up Dan. You can see that. Oh, look at that. The colour fading into the Portapiris. It's glorious, I think. So, Liquid versus Complexity. I am expecting a 2-0 over Liquid, especially with this map. Paul, how are you feeling about this?
Yeah, I feel the same way. I think pound for pound, skill-wise, I feel like Liquid have the advantage. They have the advantage of being together for longer, so they should always win this best of 3. Generally speaking, best of 3s are good to eliminate the majority of the variance. There's always going to be some variance in Counter-Strike, the way the gameplay is right now, but best of 3 is a pretty safe bet for them, I think. I'd be very surprised. I think it would take some very sloppy play and that was undisciplined for them to lose this, and I don't think that they're like we were saying before. I've always credited them to be the most disciplined team, and they used to be very, very good against in the domestic matchups. In all of our past leagues, Team Liquid were usually leading the scoreboard by far.
Team Liquid win the knife and they will opt to retain the CT start here. So let's see what they have to offer. It's always nice to watch the Liquid pistol rounds. They're going to have one person aggressively peeking towards A. We might have a super fast flank here because I'm pretty sure that Hiko is looking through the doors. He's carrying a molly flash nade as well. They're going to be a bit passive and just pop the flash over there.
It's quite cool that Hiko is doing that because he was going so far down, it would give his team a big warning. Because if they're going to rush A, Hiko's going to see it straight away. And it's so common in the meta to go for the drop zone play in the pistol that they had 4 players there to deal with it. But look at this position on Hiko. I think the gun was spotted, but no. Oh no, Hiko's actually going to go down there. He had every opportunity to make that frag, but he doesn't execute. And now we have Complexity walking all over Liquid. They've only got Adren and Fugly left to try to save the day. And Adren is tapping away by the hut, but he's going to go down. And oh no, that's very unfortunate because you're saying it's nice to see Liquid pistol rounds. It was very clear that they, one, responded to how the metagame is right now, and they did that well. And they had, I think, what they did with Hiko when I explained that was cool as well. But it comes down to hitting those heads, James, and they didn't do that.
Indeed it does. We've got Automatic with the sawn off, so I do expect him to be going towards the drop zone with that beautiful piece of weaponry. So he is in fact the Lone Ranger towards B. I mean, that can work in this situation if he goes towards the plateau as well. If he just keeps himself close to the crack in the wall, unless someone goes underneath, in a ninja spot, then maybe if they had a 5-7, they might be able to pop him. But it's going to be a 4-man push from Complexity towards the A-bomb site. We're seeing the rotation come in from the CTs already. Through the smoke, Villains will go down to Adren. Rocker getting some revenge for his team. But how much can they hold? We're just seeing loads of people getting popped through the smoke here. Now Automatic coming in from the rear. And all of a sudden his gun becomes
I just want to say,
almost useless.
Okay, sure, that kill from Adren, okay, whatever. But Hiko was shooting a P250 through smoke, through the door, and got a wallbang headshot with it to kill somebody. That's actually nuts. That is so absurd.
That's next level.
That is amazing. I was just gonna say it was really cool, using the sword off is popular in drop zone play and to go alone like that because it's not really useful on the bomb sites because it sucks at ranges, obviously. But in that specific scenario, it's really good. So it makes a lot of sense because you can just drop it.
What's weird though is, we'll come back to it after the round maybe. Fugly with the UMP, gonna follow up with the USP for his 3rd kill, and he will try and hold things down. He doesn't want to lose this gun, doesn't want to let them plant either, and the plant's going forth as they're reloading. That's going to be money that maybe could have been avoided for the T's, but they will be cleared up. I was going to say, like the sawn off is $1,200, the Mac 10 is $1,200 or $1,250, I can't remember which one. But in that situation, if your entire team is going towards A and you're going towards B and you might have to flank, then it might be better to have a Mac 10 in that situation, because you're going to be playing beyond the drop zone where the sawn off is at its best. So after that, it's only going to get worse as your ranges extend. But anyway, I mean, you get $900 for the sawn off kills and $600 for the Mac 10, but I don't think that's a priority in that situation.
I kind of like it just because you can die there and drop it, and they're not really going to get much use out of it, which is also, I guess, one pro. But
if they get close, though, if they get close, which maybe is easier said than done, it's arguably easier to get the kills with the sawn off than the Mac 10 against opponents with armor.
So Complexity going with a simple start to the round, just a slow pace, which is going to end up being a B attack. And there's not much on the CT side that you can really do to try to spot for this. You can't push B, and we'll see the attack approaching this B bomb site right now, and we have the trades coming in, but it is Liquid looking a bit stronger. Nice cover there for Adren, who's in a bit of an awkward spot, but we're going to see multiple kills coming in from Elise. She's done a great job, and that's going to be Liquid securing that round. So, I mean, the bomb plant was what allowed them to have a buy there. So now Complexity are forced to an additional eco, and Liquid can build that bank.
We saw a CT playing on the tree position on the B bomb site. It's actually possible to Molotov that position from B long without being anywhere near the end, like the platform area. So because again, that is a strong position for the CTs to hold if they are expecting flashbangs to come in. So that can, if you get smokes down as well, then it can basically give you one less CT to worry about as you push off the plateau for a few seconds. But Complexity for now will be on the ecos. You can see their P250, 2 flashes and a smoke. The entire team heading towards the B bomb sites eventually. But there are counter flashes, counter Molotovs, just trying to ruin the timing of Complexity here. They had 2 flashes, they've wasted 1 essentially because of the counter flashes. This time they're going to have 1 person going for the push. Smokes is going down, but the bomb's on top of the tree area. That is so unfortunate for these remaining players. You can't expect they're going to do much regardless, but that is just insult to injury there. 1 Liquid player only going down.
So very, very cool for Liquid building that monies. And now Complexity to strike back. Are they going to go for some more, some pressure towards A? We haven't seen that really yet. And it is, of course, you can essentially do a bit of a default in that sense that you take a lot of map control away from the CTs who are playing forward on A, and it's really important for the CTs to be able to play forward on A because it allows them to have that much more forewarning of what the Ts are actually doing. If you force them to play really deep on the bomb sites, they can't really know where you're going to attack, and the rotation is going to be longer if you go B or if you go A, as more players need to be committed to the bomb sites because you just don't know. So that said, we won't see any A harassment this time around, and Liquid are actually already responding. They've got 4 players towards B, so Liquid are in good stead to defend this.
You can see Complexity holding an angle on the peak, so if that CT goes back to have a look at what's going on, he should get popped straight in the face. Liege has got his hands on an AK-47, and it's Liquid's time to get more kills through the smoke. Nose angles as well, going to try and force that T away. You can see he's trying to spray down. You see this happen on Cash as well, for example, towards the MBK area behind the door. You might see a Molotov going there with the spray down to try and get the player as he moves out of it. Liquid coming in with all the frags at the moment. Tempest now a bit late to the party. I don't know where he is. Consolation frag, and he will get taken down by Fugly. Great start so far from Liquid.
Yeah, it really is. It really is, especially when you got Elise playing so good. He's doing a fantastic job so far. And once you see the lineup now with Hiko jumping in there, with Elise, coming into his own, and of course the young talent from StarCraft and Fugly as well, who's also been really, really good. It's a pretty it's becoming a star-studded lineup for Liquid.
Rocker accidentally got knifed down to 70 HP. Not a great start. If he was to take a meaty nade, that could do like 50 damage, for example, then he could be left with next to no life whatsoever. So those kind of things do matter. So we've got Hiko playing passively for the moment. Had a quick peek early long, but he's gone back to play closer to sight. You can see the AWP is being held there by Adren towards the door. It's hard to actually connect that shot, but it is for information as well. So you can see that Nitro or his teammate was on the tree position, but had to move back. Nitro, they're going to start popping heads. Sanks goes down as well. Semphis to trade. 3 versus 3 now as they go, as the CTs try and hold, waiting for Hiko to rotate. But will he have any teammates by the time he gets there? Doesn't look like he will. Just coming through the door now, taking down Valens through the corner. It's down to him in automatic now.
Yeah, he's made a one-on-one of this, and there goes the fake plant. Now Hiko can play with that boulder. It's really awkward to try to kill the CT when he's just behind this boulder, and that's going to force automatic to at least put the clock on Hiko and just try to play this slowly now. He's going for the information, seeing if Hiko's actually going closer, but Hiko's just waiting to see if he can get a fast frag.
He's got 8 bullets, Dan. Hiko has 8 bullets to do this with, and he's going to have to revert to his P250. And that smoke's down. Automatic's hiding in the smoke. Hiko's got to assume that he's around the corner. And indeed, that's exactly where he's looking for. But that smoke's going to disappear, and that might leave Automatic in an awkward position. He will readjust and wait for Hiko to come back around the corner and get himself the frag. So Liquid surviving with, Complexity winning the round. And Liquid will have to spend a lot of cash here.
I was surprised that Complexity keep forcing the issue towards B with no presence at all towards A. They've been doing that in multiple rounds. Again, I'm curious if they're going to keep that approach going. And that round was just kind of not the best timing. We saw Nitro get opening it up with 2 excellent defensive kills, but where it really fell apart for Liquid was the fact that they allowed the players to get out a drop, and that caused all kinds of confusion, and that was 2 easy frags that Liquid could not recover from. So here we go. We can see, as you mentioned, all the money spent from Liquid, and that's going to actually mean that Elite is just stuck on a CZ. That is the state of their economy. So this is a very important round if Liquid want to keep the momentum going. And of course, more importantly, for Complexity, they need to break Liquid right now. And they are going to go with a very similar play here, putting the pressure on drop, waiting it out towards the plateau, and waiting for the grenades to dissipate until they make their move.
So you could see Semphis was just... It was Valens holding towards long, but again, Hiko's been playing that fairly passively. It's very easy to get picked off there if you go for the information too early, but here comes a push towards long. Now, Nitro will be waiting for his teammate to throw a flash in for him to try and catch these T's unawares. He'll find himself 1 frag with Elige coming in for a second. Frags generally going the way of Liquid, and in a matter of seconds, everyone's dead for Complexity again, apart from Semphis. There are smokes down, and he has 3 people to find. It's going to be hard for him to do this with an AWP without getting traded. He has to pick his angles wisely. Collects the bomb. He's going to be moving forward, but there are 8 seconds left. He's not going to be able to plant the bomb here. It's just going to be about damage now. He'll probably want to dive before the clock reaches 0 as well. No frags for him. He will go down, which means he gets his loss bonus.
So they decided to do pretty much exactly the same round as I think the Complexity have tried to do, like on maybe all of their gun rounds. They've done the same sort of thing. And last round we saw Liquid actually going with an adaptation. They put 2 guys hidden at the end of the plateau. That's not normal at all. That's definitely them adapting and presuming that their opponents were going to do the same thing, and they did. And you can see how quickly they fell.
Well, this time he gets on for a bit more aggression, but I think he gets the sound cues of the players running in his direction. There are 4 terrorists coming towards him, and he has managed to get himself out of there. A bit of shoulder peeking going on, trying to get the information. He wants to stay alive for his team. That nade's going to be a bit of a warning. Trying to get a spray down. He's going to run out of there. Get some smokes, try to make the choke points even more starved of oxygen. Nade's coming in from his teammates. We have a great rotation here from Liquid. 4 players on the A site now. Just 1 lurker for Complexity towards the drop zone. But look at the damage they've taken from that grenade as well. They are on the eco here. Thanks with a bit of Kevlar. They're going to be going for the bomb plant here. Liquid starting to rotate back to B now. Maybe not seeing the bomb yet.
This is a pretty impossible spot, of course, with no Kevlar either, and all of Liquid understanding what's going on. Pretty impossible round. And we'll see Liquid picking up their 7th as soon as Automatic dies, which at some point you would imagine would. There it is. So 7-2, and Liquid, they should have decent bank building after this. Yeah, there it is. Looks really healthy. And Complexity, after getting reset as they did, they need to really eco again. I mean, they could try to get some nades in here and try to do like a little execute on B. That's always an option. That's probably the most likely thing they're going to do. But yeah, it's not looking too good for them at this point. Liquid's momentum and the kind of timing for them to be winning rounds is perfect.
Nice pre-nade there, or attempt anyway. Did a little bit of damage to Semphis, but nothing significant. The lens taking bigger chunks. Semphis drops down and gets dropped from the round. So bombs down as well, which means full rotation from the remaining CTs. Only 2 Ts left to try and get anything done. Sanks again with a P250 and armor. Kevlar, that is, behind the smoke. See if Liege can find a spam kill this time. Got to be careful though, he's only got 21 HP. Doesn't want to give anything away for free. Will be an expensive rebuy as well if he goes down. Fugly will clear things up with a bish bash bosh.
So the question is, are Complexity going to do the exact same thing they've done on, I think, almost all of their buy rounds, which is essentially not even have any presence towards A, but just go B and kind of wait out some grenades, and then eventually just try to push down plateau and get down drop zone. And will Liquid try to do a similar thing by sticking 2 guys on the drop once they get the smokes down? Not the drop, sorry, the end of B plateau. Because that was very effective previously. But it is one of those things where now Complexity are gonna be like, oh, we need to make sure we check for this. Looks like they wanted to actually do that. They want to get Nitro and Fugly up there. Or Elise, sorry.
Elise got pinched in the bum. He's lost half his life. You can see, oh, the ding.
Oh
see,
my
dinged him,
God.
what, 3 times?
Oh my god.
Through the corner of the box, surely? That was hilarious.
And then Nitro finishes him off.
How annoying would that be to get dinked 3 times through smoke by one player? Well, we'll see if Complexity can do anything more here. They've got a man advantage now, but Valenz is still towards A, going to pick up the bomb and rotate. Full rotation coming in from Liquid as well. 3 versus 3 as they both try to contest the site. Automatic coming in from the drop zone. We'll have a flank on Fugly. Yeah, flashbang will help as well. He'll go down. Adren's attention will be taken by Automatic. He will find the frag there. Remaining 2 Ts on the site now. Just left over to Hiko again in the 1 versus 1.
Not much HP for Hiko though, and Valenz, he's fully loaded. He's got his AK as well, and he's looking for the sneaky frag. He knows he has got some time at least to play with, so he's just trying to get an easy kill here. But he's got to be too careful. Sorry, he's got to be careful he doesn't go too far out. Oh, he gets caught on the jump. The timing was absolutely perfect there for Hiko, and that's going to be around for Liquid. Won by a very small margin indeed, and that's kind of disappointing for Complexity, as that was a decent round for them. And they actually capitalized on Liquid once again, kind of trying to abuse that trick, which is quite risky once your opponents are thinking about it. You would never normally see 2 players in that position unless they're supported by a lot of grenades.
You can tell these players scream with each other a lot because the Liquid play seems to know that Valenz would be hanging around the smoke as opposed to planting the bomb when it went down. Bit of humour there. Elise thinks he dinked 2 people as opposed to 1 through the smoke on long, and he's coming back for more shenanigans, this time not having such a great effect just yet. And Complexity going to go for a fast one. We've got flashes, Molotovs coming through, but Liege will just have a little adjustment. That box will be his best friend, although he's only got 1 clip remaining. Valenz and Sanks got 5 people to kill. I don't think the bomb plant's likely. You'll see if the CTs can trade here. Indeed they can, leaving only Valenz with an AK armor, smoke, Tech 9 and the bomb. Who knows? Only 1 person towards A, that is Hiko. So if Valenz makes the right choices here, then maybe he can get a plant for his team, although he's going to peek towards B and Adren will be waiting for him.
And I must again point out that, if I'm not mistaken, Complexity have only gone B, and I think the only time they've gone A, they had almost a full eco.
I think you are correct, Dan. The only time I can recall him going A was that eco where Hiko spotted them going towards long A, and they all got naded, basically. And you can see they've got the same default here, where they've got 1 player hanging around A. Hiko going for a longer peek now, trying to get a bit more ambitious as Liquid hold down the B bomb site once again. Rocker, though, taking down Nitro. Elige will trade and get a bonus kill, leaving only Semphis on the other side of the map.
Yeah, I mean, so you can obviously see that. Well, I mean, there's not necessarily anything wrong with going to one side all the time, but they are giving up the opportunity to be able to do more and get more opportunities to get damage and information as to what the CTs are doing. Because Liquid's, again, they're a pretty disciplined team, maybe one of the most disciplined teams in America with Cloud9. Arguably, maybe possibly more. It's I guess it's really up there in the air. But anyway, I wouldn't expect them to try to adapt or overcompensate, because that's one of the hallmarks of undisciplined play. and to say, oh well, they're just going B all the time. Let's try to hard counter that without the information to to be able to do that. They're not really playing like that. They are still reacting. They're putting themselves in some forward positions towards B plateau, but just generally reacting.
I don't think they flashed somebody through underpass once.
Nope.
I don't think they've even had anybody in there. Like a pistol aside, I don't think they've ventured in there once.
No, I don't think so. I don't think they really have tested the waters there at all. And if we see that the style that Liquid are playing a lot is actually just having Hiko there, and that's kind of dangerous because it's if a team is going to take those areas, you can take them pretty quickly and play the trades, and then force the CTs back to get no information, and then if Hiko's alone and has no one to help him, it's very likely he's going to have a bad trade there.
Yeah, and they haven't given Liquid a reason to give Hiko some help, but Liquid maybe trying to read the game ahead of Complexity's decisions have indeed put a second person over there, but they are quickly rotating back. Rocker finding the first frag onto Nitro. It's going to cost him 95% of his life, but he's still alive, and that's going to be the important thing. There'll still be a Liege to cause some more shenanigans, but Complexity have moved into more passive positions, maybe trying to avoid the flash peek combos, the nades in the usual spots, like just where Semphis is headed. One of the common angles for a T to hold. Liege ready and waiting, finds himself another flurry of frags.
Yeah, that was really, really nice, and that has made the difference. Giving a man advantage. Oh, very nice by Adren as well, and he's going to finish off the last player. So, yeah, you can certainly see that Liquid are hitting their shots. I mean, Fugly and Elish and Nitro. I mean, Adren and Hiko are not really nearly in the action as much as those players, so it's hard to really say much about them. But Fugly, Nitro, and Elish have been doing a fantastic job all night. And this could be a fast first map. I mean, the second map is Overpass. I have no idea what complexity we're gonna have to bring to the table there, because that's a hard map if you don't have a lot of routine. But
this was Complexity's
oh,
pick.
okay, I got it the wrong way around then.
Yeah, the way it's going, you would expect it to be Liquid's pick, because again they've pretty much been relying on one drill with limited success, as you can see. Still a lurker over towards the A site, which has just been eliminated by Adren. Finally, they had somebody go through mid doors, but on their own, and they died cold and lonely.
There you go, last couple of finished off. And I mean, you could be right actually. Like with that point, we saw limited drills, but maybe Complexity are treating this because they're a really new team. Maybe they have no illusions that they're thinking, oh, we can make an upset against Liquid, and they're just using this as practice. That's actually possible as well. I suppose it's not the most likely of circumstances, but it is possible.
Yeah, I think there are other avenues to do it rather than a qualifier for the next
indeed,
major. But who knows? Who knows? I'm sure there was an idea, which is just not panning out.
Panned out, yeah.
Sometimes that happens.
Yeah, if you've got like one really strong round and all the other rounds are a little bit flimsy, then you know.
So, Pistol, second half. Let's have a look at the approach here. We've got one passive player towards long A from Team Liquid. The rest over towards B, with Hiko moving around. Almost similar to the Complexity play in their rounds in the first half.
Oh, amazing by Nitro. Very fast reaction. And he's going to drop down and get the boosty and the booster. So, yeah, that's a clean situation for them.
Everyone's dead, Dan.
That was pretty amazing by Nitro.
Everyone appears to be dead.
I mean, the thing with those shots, the jump shots, is that you can have fast reactions, but the problem as well is that the hitbox is a bit deceptive. So even if you're flicking onto their head, you kind of have to be a bit ahead of the game, as it were. Like, you need to be shooting a little bit in anticipation. So that was pretty amazing that Nitro connected that shot. Either way, 14-2, and Liquid indeed looking to close this out, but will Complexity's force buy cause them any issues? Because they have sacked 4 players towards B, so maybe they got a chance here.
Indeed. And Valencia's going to be an important player. He goes through the back of the smoke, then comes back out again, and he's going to get shot in the face by Hiko. So that was a bit uneventful. The bomb's going to be left in situ. I think they're just going to go for the kills for now. Rocket and automatic left. Of course, this is a force buy from Complexity, armor, deagles, pistols, everything they can muster. But how much will it be for? There's a man disadvantage. going for the MP7, but a 5-7 from that range would be better anyway. If he has an engagement, and he can pick up the SMG en route to the bomb site. So, are they going to go for it? Rocker holding a bit of a, well, I guess he was holding a good position for a one-tap. However, P90. Automatic now has a decision to make. He has P250 and full armor. Does he opt to stay in this position? It's not that favourable for Liquid to go for a repeat here unless they all rush out together, but they're not going to do that. So we'll see if Automatic can pick up something or if he's just going to go for the safer play and make his escape.
It's pretty interesting to see, you know, the complexity name back into Counter-Strike because, you know, it's such a staple in the in the 1.6 scene back in the days. It's such a huge organization. They made their name off of Counter-Strike, and so it's cool to see the presence back in the game. Either way, it's going to be a 15-2 situation for Liquid. They are close to closing this first map out very handily, and they are choosing to go for some B pressure just as Complexity were on their T sides so frequently. Oh, that is very nice by Automatic over on the other side of the map, and he's going to slowly be creeping you know, towards the flank of Liquid, so they're going to have to start thinking about getting their skates on here. And, oh, Rocker's even going to be jumping up in the boost. This could be the round over for Liquid if they're not careful right now.
Indeed, and they are heavily tagged from nades that they have been on the receiving end of. Complexity obviously in a situation where they have to take risks, they have to be aggressive. But both teams know that. You can see Hiko just playing that passive angle because they expect that such aggression will be apparent. Now we've got Automatic has made his way to T-spawn. You can see Liquid are all looking for him together. They know it makes sense for him to flank in this situation. Now they find themselves towards mid, not knowing really what's behind them.
Yeah,
or ahead of them.
Cool. I like. It's really nice how Liquid have handled this. I said if they're screwed if they're not careful. Well, they were very careful, and the coordination behind Liquid on this this rotation is really nice. And now we've got the flank from Automatic going back the other way. Will it catch them in time?
Well, they are CTs entering the A bomb site at the moment, but again they are under weaponized. Maybe 3 versus 1. Automatic has made his presence known and he's been shot in the face. 16-2 Complexity shut out, completely shut out on their pick in this best of 3.
Yeah, so overpass.
What is there to say, really? Absolute domination. Just Liquid far too solid on the CT side, and really credit to just general team play, but also Elige played so well on B, just pointing in all the right directions through this smoke. But again, Complexity didn't really give Liquid a reason to bolster the A site defense. We just had Hiko just looking at walls and, you know, admiring castle features over towards that side. So maybe they could have had a stronger performance on there. But either way, we are going to the second map, which is Dan.
Overpass.
In a few minutes. See you after the break.